thinking about it myself, I thought of three things. First, when the West End Library went down, the West End neighbors didn't settle for that. They kept coming and coming until they got a library. When East School was threatened to be closed down, parents kept coming and coming to school board meetings, and the East is alive and well. So I think that same tactic should be used with the hospital. The hospital's been down, this town has been silent for too long, and it's time that we got the hospital back. If there is a common theme today, the theme is that we are stewards. It's important for us to pass the community we receive on to the next generation. That is our charge. And a Long Beach without a hospital is less than the Long Beach you and I were given. So it's our responsibility and our trust to be the stewards that we're called to be to get that hospital back. That's all from me. Please notice within a minute, Just a few housekeeping rules. There are a lot of elected officials and representatives here. We ask that you please sign in with Mr. Adler here if you haven't done so already. Matt, would you give him a wave? Please. Scheduled speakers, you know who you are. If you'd please sign in with Barbara Levy, who's right here beside Matt. Please do that. And don't complain that you weren't given the mic. You must sign in. To the media, anybody here? Miss Bernardino, Barbara Bernardino is the designated spokesperson for Beta Beach. So any questions should be directed to Mrs. Bernardino. And that's not enough, because this whole assembly here today is basically here because of the efforts primarily of two women. Mrs. Bernardino, Miss Barbara Bernardino Dubau, Miss Barbara Dubau Bernardino, and Phyllis LaBuddy. They've gone to countless meetings, they've gone to every possible source to try to renew or to get the hospital back. They've represented you and me on countless occasions, often alone. So today, Barbara, this assembly here is testimony and testament to your energy and your vision and your love for this community. So we thank you and Phyllis very, very much. The City of Long Beach, as co-host of this event, have asked us to please respect this space. So that means we leave it as we got it, so please be respectful of that. And if you need any other concerns, please speak to Miss Darlene Hout, who is here, right over here. So at this time, we're very, very pleased to have one of our outstanding high school students here to lead us in a rendition of America the Beautiful. So Max Tunney, come on, give it up, put your hands wide, come on. Please stand, our flag is behind you. Beautiful, forsake the sky, forever is the rain, for her mountains majesty, above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Please be seated. Thank you, Max. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to call up Miss Barbara Bernardino. Barbara.
nobody does this alone. Nobody does this alone. Extraordinary amount of people that have helped to put this event together. This Wednesday will mark 730 days that we will have been without a hospital. For over a year, Beach to Bay has been advocating for a full-service hospital on behalf of the residents of this barrier island. Beach to Bay has partnered with many organizations and institutions, too many to mention today. However, we are pleased to add the City of Long Beach as our newest partner. Today, Beach to Bay and the City of Long Beach provide you with a platform, this rally. So let's be clear about what we want. Are you ready?
Yes.
What do we need? When do we want it? Where do we want it? How will we build it? In 1921, Senator Reynolds understood that a hospital on this residential barrier island was a must. This belief was later affirmed in the New York State Burger Report in 2006 and again in 2008. Since Sandy, millions of state and FEMA dollars have been used in one way or another to address this issue. What do we really have for all that money? A renovated emergency room at the old site, which never opened, and an urgent care which is grossly inadequate for our needs. What a waste of our money. Decisions were made in the absence of input from our area's first responders, our medical practitioners, our Chamber of Commerce, or from the community at large. New York has found a way to circumvent the public health law by not hosting a public forum 30 days after the closing of the hospital, nor did it make any measurable effort to explain its actions. In our opinion, negotiations were held where the players hid behind MOUs and LOUs and gag orders and confidentiality jargon to keep the public in the dark. Such behavior does not build trust, but rather fosters gossip fueled by creative imaginations. Without a clear mission and blueprint, we will continue to waste millions of dollars and precious time. Is it Albany's bureaucratic paralysis or some entity's business plan that is holding us hostage? Will the loss of life here just be seen as collateral damage? Senator Skello stated in Newsday on October 15th, I remain concerned over the lack of a 24-hour ambulance receiving emergency department on the barrier island. Senator, I personally handed you an information packet with the documented reports and research. Did you read it? Senator, we need a hospital. So let's tell them again. What do we need? When do we want it?
Now.
Where do we want it?
Long Beach.
How will we build it? Governor Cuomo, Senator Skellos, we're very grateful for whatever support you may have given us on this island. However, the lack of your visibility and advocacy on this particular issue concerns us. Richard Murphy, CEO of South Nassau, stated in that very same article, he envisions more than just an emergency department, which by itself is not sustainable financially. Mr. Murphy read our research. However, he's still not saying hospital. Our position, our mission is clear: to open a hospital, period. Together we can open a thriving hospital. This community will support an excellent hospital. Our new hospital will stimulate our local economy, provide jobs, and enhance the real estate market. To lose $200 million and the physical property and not open a hospital is a political and moral disgrace. Why is Beach today only advocating the opening of a hospital? Because if you advocate for less, you're gonna get less. And then we will fall short of the funds necessary to open what we need. And what do we need? A hospital. 3 months after Sandy, FEMA told us that if the old hospital cannot be rebuilt, a new one will be built. Didn't South Nassau and Albany get the same memo? Since FEMA funds go from Washington to Albany for distribution, we must continue to remind Albany as to what we need. So let's tell them one more time, what do we need?
Hospital!
When do we need it?
Now!
Where do we want it?
Albany!
And how will we build it? 727 days and millions of dollars later, and we don't even have the blueprint for the hospital we were promised. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. There's just one gentleman's name was omitted, and that's Dr. Marty Gruber. Dr. Gruber was there with Miss Bernardino and Mrs. Labuddy at every step along the way. Unfortunately, he was not able to be here today, but it would certainly be remiss on our part if we didn't recognize him and thank him for all his contributions. Dr. Marty Gruber, thank you. Anybody who knows Phyllis Labuddy knows the only thing more important to her than Long Beach is her family. Unfortunately, a family responsibility necessitated her not being here today. But speaking on her behalf, and the only one she'd let her speak on her behalf, is her wonderful daughter Eileen, so I'd ask Eileen to please come up.
Good afternoon. I have to do this well or my mother will kill me. I just want to say, from my behalf, to see all these faces here, especially all of the older faces, all of my old teachers from when I was a kid, look at what you're doing for the kids of Long Beach, because, and I see a teacher waving back there, this is all for us, it's for our kids, it's for our property values. I have 2 little kids with asthma. I'm worried to sleep here at night. How sad is that? So, on behalf of my mom, now my age is showing, my mom, Phyllis Labuddy, wanted to say, this journey started more than a year ago, and she is so sorry that she can't be here with you today. And she writes, if I were here, I would use my 2 minutes to thank each and every person who showed up today. Those who took lawn signs, those store owners who put up posters, those people who took flyers and who signed our petitions. I would thank those who designed the flyers and created our Facebook page, those who helped pay for the signs, who attended meetings, who shared ideas, spoke at other meetings, and those groups who allowed us to speak at their meetings. I thank the people from the beach to bay and from the west to the east who are united in one cause. Long Beach must have a hospital. A spanking new FEMA-compliant facility with all the appropriate medical modalities to protect and serve our residents, our children, on this beautiful barrier island. My mom wanted to thank everyone who stepped up to help in so many ways. The list is too long for today and for only 2 minutes. So let me end by saying we still have a long way to go. South Nassau Communities Hospital must use the allocated FEMA funds here in the city of Long Beach to open a hospital. But for now, for today, thank you for showing up. You are a part of the solution. Recruit your neighbors, recruit your friends. The young ones, the little ones, are the ones with 1,000 Instagram followers, 1,000 Facebook followers. Do it so you can safely bring your friends to the beaches here, to play on our teams, lacrosse and soccer. We are a vibrant young community. I'm scared to bring Sadie Fraser, one of our friends, to stay here overnight because she's of severe peanut allergy. And where are we gonna go if something happens in the middle of the night? If an asthma attack happens in the middle of the night, I want people to know you can move to Long Beach. It's safe here. The property values will rise. Our stores will thrive. Our real estate value will go up. We'll have jobs. Barbara Bernardino will let you know how to register as a member of the Beach to Bay Civic Association so you can receive our newsletter, updates, actions, and alerts. Thank you so much. And Mom, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eileen. At this time, I'd like to call up Councilwoman Fran Adelson from the Long Beach City Council. Councilwoman Adelman.
Welcome, I'm Councilwoman Adelson from the Long Beach City Council, and it's great to see so many people here passionate, very, very passionate, very important that you all showed up. We are very happy that the deal has been completed with South Nassau. However, there are issues. There are many issues. One of the big issues is we demand that the money, the $176 million, be spent in Long Beach. We need that money to be spent here. I can't say that enough. Everybody else that comes today, everybody that's speaking, will be saying the same thing. We've been without a medical facility in Long Beach for the past 2 years. Too long, way too long. We need a medical facility that meets the needs of our barrier island. If the bridge goes up, we all know how devastating that could be. We have been really lucky for the past 2 years. Luck does not last forever. We've been really, really lucky. Nothing is more important to us as a city council than the public safety and the health of all our residents. We've been without a freestanding 9/11 receiving emergency room on our barrier island for way too long. I know I keep repeating ourselves, but the more we repeat this, the more people can hear us. The state needs to approve South Nassau to convert the urgent care center into a freestanding 9/11 24-hour emergency room immediately. Not tomorrow, immediately, meaning tomorrow. One other thing that's really important to me, because we've done it on the city council, and I think that South Nassau has fallen short in this area, we need South Nassau Medical Center to engage and to listen to the residents of our barrier island in an open dialogue to bring Long Beach the medical facilities desperately needed. They need to come, they need to meet with us, and they need to have open forums. Again, thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you, Mrs. Adelson. On behalf of Beach to Bay, I want to thank the City Council once again, the City for Long Beach, for co-hosting this event and for giving us the facilities for meeting here. At this time, I'd like to introduce the other City Council members who are here. Councilwoman Eileen Goggin, President Scott Mandel, Councilman Anthony Aramo, Mr. Torres, Lenny Torres, if you're here, and I also want to recognize and thank Mr. Jack Schneerman for his help in organizing here today. Ms. Goggin, you look like you wanted to say something. Okay, there's a 2-minute cap. We'll get you up now since you just recognized.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm City Councilwoman Eileen Goggin. Welcome. It's great to see everyone here today for such an important cause and goal in Long Beach. I'm going to keep this very simple because the message is very simple. We need a medical facility in Long Beach. I'm here as a resident of Long Beach. I'm here as a city councilwoman. I'm here representing the city, and I'm representing also the city council. We have been advocating for a 24, 7-day-a-week 911 medical facility in Long Beach. For the past 2 years, the city council, and the community at large have been advocating for this medical facility that will meet the needs of Long Beach and the barrier island that we live on. And we live on a barrier island, and as we know, our needs are unique. We have been without a 911 facility, as Fran Adelson just said, and as everyone else here will say, for far too long. And I am here today to publicly implore South Nassau, now that the sale of the hospital has been completed, to focus, to move forward, and to provide Long Beach with the services that it needs and it deserves. I am also calling, as everyone else here I'm sure is, for South Nassau to spend any and all FEMA funds it receives for the Long Beach Medical Center here in Long Beach and nowhere else. We need the money here. And I don't think we have been silent. We have, as a community and as a city, been vocal, and we will continue to be vocal until we get the medical facility that we need and deserve in Long Beach. Thank you very much.
Thank you. At this point, everybody recognizes that history is a wonderful thing, and the hospital has been part of the history of this city for a very long time. At this point, I'd like to invite up to the podium Long Beach's historian, Mrs. Roberta Fiore. Mrs. Fiore? This is going to be tough because she never spoke less than 2 minutes, so this might be the first time we pull the plug.
Hi and goodbye. It's true. There is so much that I want to say. And of course, I want to talk from a historical perspective. Long Beach Hospital was a paramount priority to the original residents of Long Beach. But I have to tell you, listening to you all speak, I have to remind you that the responsibility is not out there. It's not with the politicians, it's not with funding, it's with you. When Long Beach first had a hospital, it was a hospital that was supported by the residents of Long Beach. They made their demands, they had hospital day. Hospital day, everybody in the community used their time to raise money for Long Beach Hospital, and that included children. Children went out and had sold lemonade and cookies and this and that. Long Beach went so far as to have all their builders get together and build in 1 week a dream house. A dream house, and that dream house was raffled off to raise funds for Long Beach Hospital. So it's very nice that we're all sitting here and that the state should do it and FEMA should do it and everybody should do it. I'm here to tell you, we should do it. We should do it, and we should have a hospital that has a pediatric department, an obstetric department, a department for the youth of our community. Let's not BS each other. Nobody's going to do it for us. We've got to get out there and do it for ourselves. And I just want to show you, I have to get a little antique in this. I just want to show you a picture of Long Beach's first hospital president. His name was Frank Frankel. And he and his wife, Pearl, went out, and she actually had strawberry festivals to raise money for Long Beach Hospital. Very nice of you all to be here, but I would ask you to be prepared. Put your hands in your pocket if you have a heart, and fight for the hospital that we should and must have. Don't let anybody else do it. We can do it.
Thank you, Mrs. Fury. The Long Beach High School, Long Beach School District had a Wall of Fame meeting last week, and part of its induction was historical figures. And two of those figures were people who were very prominent at this hospital many years ago. The first was Dr. Frances Kopp, who many of you know was a legend before her time, and the second was Dr. George Rice, who was also affiliated with the hospital, once again demonstrating how important the hospital has been to the history of this community. At this point, we have a couple of medical healthcare people coming up, Dr. Matt Cohen and Dr. Leo. Are you here? Please come up. We had a pediatric wing in the hospital. We'd have no finer doctor to run this pediatric facility than the guy right here.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be able to speak to you today. I'd like to thank you first for the opportunity, and would like to commend my fellow citizens and everyone out here who so tirelessly advocate on behalf of our community. I wish to share with you my expertise in the field of pediatrics and what the impact and reality of creating an emergency pediatrics department would be. Dr. Gruber, who is intimately involved with this, was not able to speak, so first I'm going to give you some of my ideas, and then he actually asked me if I would share some of his ideas as well, which I would gladly do, which I also do support. Let me start by saying children are not little adults. There's a reason, a very good reason, that pediatrics is its own field. The same logic will apply in the emergency medicine setting as well. If we as a community decide we want to provide our citizens with emergency services, then we also must be well aware of all that comes with providing our children with pediatric service, because this entails a complete set of different rules requiring a unique infrastructure, additional costs, specific staffing, amongst a host of many other factors that are quite distinct from an adult emergency department. This model, which I wholly endorse and will gladly support, and would proudly provide my efforts toward, includes board-certified pediatric emergency medicine physicians, board-certified pediatricians, pediatric nurse practitioners, pediatric nurses, child life specialists, to just name a few. A recent study, and I know safety on this island, I know safety on this island is one of the biggest issues and one of the driving forces why we so desperately need a hospital here. A recent study regarding patient safety in the pediatric emergency setting was performed by the American Academy of Pediatrics, addressed a number of concerns for caring for children in the ED setting. It found without proper training, communication, infrastructure, and other factors that the environment was subject to be error-prone and have a tendency for errors, including but not limited to language barriers, a lack of competent personnel, and technically appropriately trained staff. I provide you with these necessary facts not to persuade us as a community from attempting to provide state-of-the-art pediatric care to our children, but rather to begin an open and honest dialogue how we can provide this excellent emergency medicine services to our pediatric community. I know I have a short time, but I do want to speak on behalf of Dr. Gruber. And these were some of the points that he wanted to ask. Access to medical care is a fundamental right in a modern society. There are 40,000 people who live on this isolated barrier island, with the population at times in the summer increasing to well close to 100,000. Access to medical care means a local hospital. While emergency care is important, access to care must include specialists, subspecialists, pediatric care, surgical facilities, psychiatric care, and sophisticated imaging facilities. A 9/11 emergency transfer facility is a poor solution. It does not provide for emergency services as well for emergency surgery, and often will result in a second ambulance trip, which is associated with delays and costs and all that implies. In finishing, I would like to go on the record saying that Long Beach would significantly benefit from having a modern, state-of-the-art emergency department for children and adults alike. I would be glad to provide any help that I can to assist in the creation of a pediatric emergency department staffed with appropriately trained physicians, nurses, and other healthcare professionals built on the proper infrastructure, the proper framework defined by an ethical, modern, evidence-based model that ensures excellent care for the children of Long Beach. They deserve no less. For this, I say to you here, you simply need to ask for my help and you will have it. Thank you.
Dr. Fishman, if you're here, please let us know while Dr. Leo's coming up. It's important that you know that where we speak from strength because we do our job. Dr. Gruber is the head of our medical team, Frank McQuaid's the head of our legal team, and I just do whatever I do. But may I suggest to the politicians who have a problem saying the word hospital, I get calls, what's gonna make you stop? Why don't you put some people from my medical team at your table so that you will understand why we need a hospital? Dr. Cohn, Dr. Benowitz, Dr. Gruber. I have a list of fabulous doctors who are willing to work. Give me a call, I'll give you their names. Get them at your table. Dr. Leo, you're on.
Thank you everybody for having me here. First of all, I just want to thank Long Beach Hospital for actually saving my life 3 years ago. It was a surprise to me because I had a cardiac event and I was brought to the emergency room, and if it wasn't for Dawn Williamson, I wouldn't be here speaking to you right now. And I just have to say that when an emergency happens, nobody really understands how much time has a lot to do with your living. So I'm standing in front of you right now because of that episode. Real close. I got to kiss them over. Okay. I do everything in my office to try to keep people from going to the hospital, to try to keep them healthy, but emergencies do happen. So if there's anything that we can do as a community, whether it's speaking to our state senators or talking to Governor Cuomo, whatever it takes to get them to do what they need to do, I think that we should all band together and do that. Thank you very much.
Dr. Leo, and just one of the reasons why we need a hospital too is we got to keep the doctors in town. Our seniors shouldn't have to go to Rockville Center, they shouldn't have to go to Valley Stream, they shouldn't have to go to the 5 towns to see a doctor. Our doctors should be in town. And we've lost too many good doctors because this hospital's been closed. So that's a secondary gain, another thought. We need a hospital because we got to keep our medical people in town. At this point, I'd like to introduce people who are often underrated in the process. These people know firsthand what not having a hospital means, and these are our first responders. So I'd like to introduce Chief Chas Thompson and Chief Richie Corbett and ask you to please come up. Thank you.
My name is Chas Thompson. I am a first responder with the Point Lookout and Lido Fire Department. I've been a member for 36 years. I've been an EMT for 36 years. I spent 8 years in the Chiefs Department for the Point Lookout Lido Fire Department, and I've now been fire commissioner for 36 years. Or excuse me, 13 years. I've also worked on the beaches of the town of Hempstead and Long Beach for the last 40 years. I know what happens in the face of an emergency. I just want to share with you, in the last 2 weeks, the Point Lookout Lido Fire Department, we had 2 patients. One was a combative diabetic, and we had a member in the Lido Beach community having an active heart attack. To be in the back of an ambulance for 22 minutes to get these people to a hospital is not a good situation. We do not provide the proper care when we're in the road. Taking those people from a hospital that we had 3 to 4 minutes that we could get to 15 to 22 minutes is very irresponsible. This Barrier Island needs a hospital. We have spent many hours going back and forth to the hospitals because it's now 22 minutes to the hospital. It's 44 minutes to spend the time at the hospital. It's an hour and a half turnaround time for any ambulance that's in the Point Lookout, the Long Beach, or the Atlantic Beach area. This Barrier Beach has 41,000 residents, but between May and September, we probably see close to 10 million people down here. There are going to be situations where there are emergencies and we cannot get the proper care and get these people to the proper hospital. We need a hospital. We need to take the burden off our first responders and give the residents the proper care they need. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Richie Corbett. I'm proud to be the chief of the Long Beach Fire Department. I've been chief for 6 years. I've been a member of the Long Beach Fire Department for over 28 years. It's a couple of things I'd like to go over with everybody. It's been just about 2 years since the Long Beach Fire Department transported a patient to the Long Beach Medical Center, a practice that has happened over 1,000 times a year for over 20 years. It was comforting feeling knowing that all we had to do to get somebody from their house, place of business, or wherever they requested an ambulance from to the Bayfront and Lincoln Boulevard. If it was a hot summer day, members driving our ambulance could cut down some side streets to avoid some traffic jams. If there was a snowstorm, members on the ambulance were notified by our police department or public works department to avoid areas where snow removal was taking place, saving valuable time transporting someone's family member or loved one to get urgent care. After the transfer of the patient to the emergency room staff, the ambulance was immediately ready to respond to another call without delays. I have a glare on this, so please bear with me. Since Superstorm Sandy, all this has changed. In 2011, the average transport time to get a patient to the Long Beach Medical Center emergency room was 4 minutes. And to get the ambulance back into service, the average turnaround time was 37 minutes. Recently, I compiled some 2014 statistics. Transport times to South Nassau is 13 minutes. That's 9 minutes longer. And to get the ambulance back into service, it takes 53 minutes. That's just getting the ambulance back ready to respond again. And if you add in time that it takes to drive back to Long Beach, you're going to hear what I have to say without this background noise. And they'll be back in about an hour and a half. I'm sorry, okay. And if you add in time it takes to drive back to Long Beach, you're talking about an hour and 15 minutes. That's over twice as long per call. If the bridge is up, I would hate to have to compile that data because the times would skyrocket. I just want to make everybody perfectly clear. If you call for an ambulance within the confines of the city of Long Beach, we will be there within 4 minutes to start treating you. That's 5 minutes quicker than the national average of 9 minutes. So that's something to be proud of. As the city rebuilds, new houses and construction are the norm. Our population is sure to increase with new residents and construction workers traveling to and from our city. We have always had an older population in our city who have relied on an emergency room being so close. I would also venture to say that many people have decided to live here or have an elderly family member live in one of our many nursing homes or assisted living facilities because of our access to emergency care. South Nassau has taken great strides in getting help to our residents. In the summer, they invested millions of dollars opening an urgent care center on Monroe Boulevard. However, the State Department of Health will not allow them to receive ambulance patients. We have met with South Nassau officials, and they have been working tirelessly to get us the proper emergency room, and we thank them for that. One of my favorite things about living in Long Beach is how we all band together in times of need or crisis, such as this. If a neighbor falls on hard times, we hold fundraiser to help them out. If a friend becomes ill or injured, we host gatherings to get financial assistance, build access ramps, or even hold blood drives. We as a community must band together on this issue of getting a 9/11 receiving hospital on our barrier island. We, the Long Beach Fire Department, along with city officials and community, agree that a 24-hour 9/11 receiving hospital needs to be opened in Long Beach. And we as a community should keep pushing for this to happen. We must keep writing letters and making phone calls to our State Department of Health, contact our governor and state senators telling we need this as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. At this point, I'd like to call up our parents to speak. We have some parents out there, Leah Tozer, Tatiana Kale, and Carrie DeStefano. And before they come up, I just wanted to also recognize Miss Denise Ford. Is here somewhere? Mrs. Ford, thank you for coming. Candidate for Assembly, Mr. Todd Kaminsky. I saw him here. Ms. Dottie Fertig, Republican candidate for Assembly. Thank you for coming. Ladies.
Hello. I'm kissing it. Okay. Hi, I am Leah Rosenberg Tozer, and I am here with Tatiana Kaye as we are the co-presidents of the Long Beach Pre-K PTA. As parents and PTA co-presidents, we are here representing all of the children and families of Long Beach, East Atlantic Beach, Lido Beach, and Point Lookout. Since Superstorm Sandy devastated our community, it has affected all of our lives in many different ways, including the closing of Long Beach Medical Center. The biggest part of our recovery that has yet to be fulfilled, and that should enrage every parent, every family member, and the community as a whole, is not having a full-service hospital for our Barrier Beach Island. We have over 40,000 permanent residents and over 6,000 children under the age of 18 that live on our small barrier island, which makes our community one of the most densely populated cities in the entire state of New York. Every single parent should be infuriated, given the amount of people living here, that we do not have a full-service hospital. Okay, sorry. God forbid a tragic event were to threaten the life of your child while swimming in the ocean and had trouble breathing, they cannot get treated in Long Beach. If any one of our children suffers a concussion while playing in our beautiful newly rebuilt playgrounds and it's life-threatening, they cannot get treated in Long Beach. If one of our children suffers a life-threatening asthma attack that requires immediate medical attention, and the closest hospital is South Nassau and Oceanside, 20 minutes away, the chances of your child's survival is slim. And if any one of our 3 bridges off this island are up in a life-threatening emergency, there is no way with the closest hospital 20 minutes away that any one of your children will survive to even enter the ER of the hospital. Every minute, every second counts when it comes to the survival of our children. And I'm sorry. It is appalling. It's very heart-wrenching for me because of my 2 children, so this kills me. It is appalling that our local politicians don't seem to care about the community or our children and have not fought hard enough for our right to have a full-service hospital on our barrier island. We must come together, family, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and demand our right to have a full-service hospital on our island for our children. Thank you.
I'm going to translate exactly what she said in Spanish. Okay, buenas tardes.
Me llamo Tatiana Calle y como madre de 2 niños pequeños y vicepresidenta de PTA, quiero unirme a ustedes y representar a nuestros hijos, padres, abuelos y en general toda la comunidad de Long Beach en la lucha por algo tan valioso como es la reconstrucción del hospital. Todos recordamos la devastación tan enorme que nos dejó Sandy. Dentro de esas pérdidas estuvo el hospital, la sala de emergencia y otros servicios indispensables para nuestros niños y jóvenes cuya población se ha duplicado en los últimos años. Muchos de nosotros hemos experimentado la desesperación de ver a un ser querido o a un amigo con un dolor intenso, una fractura, un ataque cardíaco, un problema respiratorio, donde los primeros auxilios pueden hacer la diferencia entre la vida o la muerte. Ahora imagínense que es su hijo, que está en una posición crítica, que necesita ayuda. La distancia que nos separa del hospital más cercano es más de 20 minutos. 20 minutos es demasiado tiempo en un caso crítico, especialmente cuando es su hijo. Los primeros auxilios son primordiales. Vitales para una buena recuperación. Por tal razón necesitamos una sala de emergencia, un hospital bien equipado que nos puede brindar la asistencia a la que tenemos derecho. Personalmente creo no es suficiente un pequeño centro abierto solamente de 9 a.m. a 9 p.m. Es una sorpresa que nuestros políticos han hecho tan poco en favor de esta causa. Les pido unir nuestras voces, nuestras esfuerzos, poner presión en nuestros políticos, no dejar que otra emergencia bloquee las 3 salidas que la isla tiene, dejándonos aislados y médicamente desprotegidos. Las emergencias de salud no distinguen razas, credos o estatus sociales. Todos sentimos igual en estos casos. Unamos nuestros esfuerzos para ser escuchados y ayúdanos en la reconstrucción del hospital que tanto necesita esta comunidad. Gracias.
Hi, my name is Carrie DiStefano, and I'm a PTA board member of both middle school and special education PTA. I'm here today to represent some of the most vulnerable people in our community, our children. Every day we go without a hospital. Children with allergies, asthma, and other chronic health conditions are not safe. Every day that we go without a hospital, we're putting our children at risk, period. We live on a barrier island, and when the bridge is up and you need emergent care, we lose crucial time when every second counts. We call upon you, our elected officials, to push through the red tape. Please don't wait for a tragedy to occur. Please make our island safe for our children. We need a hospital with 24-hour, 7-day-a-week emergent care because our children deserve nothing less. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. We probably have about 15 minutes left, so I'd appreciate it if you could stay. Next speakers, you'll see that most every stakeholder is here. The only ones who don't have a chance to speak are the children. So it's our opportunity once again to speak to them or for them. At this point, I'd like to introduce our seniors. Trudy Bernstein.
I'm representing all the seniors. Okay, I like it. Thank you.
I wouldn't be here today if it were not for the Long Beach Medical Center. About 3 years ago, I fainted in the kitchen. I hit my head on the handle of the stove. I bled profusely, and of course, I needed some kind of surgery. I don't know how it happened, but before I knew it, I was totally out of it. I was at the Long Beach Medical Center. I guess it was the emergency room, although I'm not exactly sure. And I'm here. It's amazing, really, because I know between here and Oceanside, I would have bled to death. Thank you. I remember being at Associated. I think you may have remembered Shelley at Associated, who had a heart attack. They rushed him right here to the hospital and saved his life. I had my 2 daughters here, and I'm happy to hear that they may bring back an obstetrics. Wouldn't that be nice? And I have, some very good memories about the Long Beach Hospital. We must get it back, and let's hope next year, before Halloween, we will have a hospital.
Thank you, Trudy. I'd also like to recognize the 2 candidates for City Court Judge. I believe are here. Mr. Corey Klein, I saw. Mr. Ted Hummel, I saw over here. Thank you for coming. At this point, I'd call up the retired teachers, Ms. Bobby Solomon, Mr. Frank Volpe. I've already referenced last weekend that there was a Wall of Fame induction, and Mr. Volpe, a much beloved teacher at Long Beach High School for a number of years, was inducted into Long Beach Wall of Fame. So let's give it up for him.
Thank you, guys. It's great to see a lot of teachers out there and school employees, and I'm proud to represent them. And it's all about kids, people. These kids need somebody to speak for them and help them, and you guys are out there and listen to these fine people who are spiriting this just cause. And now I give you Ms. Bobby Solomon, a tremendous activist for the community and a retiree, to give you her personal story.
Have you ever heard of a golden hour? It's a term doctors use to describe the window of time necessary to save a patient who's in cardiac arrest. While on vacation in Sarasota, Florida, my husband suffered a heart attack. I called 911, and an ambulance responded very quickly. The EMTs, while on the way to Sarasota Hospital, administered cardiac first aid and sent his vitals ahead to the hospital. Fortunately, he was admitted to the hospital, seen by a cardiologist, and had a stent inserted into his heart within the golden hour. We didn't have to worry. Thank you. We didn't have to worry about a bridge being up, traffic on the road, a car accident clogging the way, or waiting for an ambulance to return from another town a valuable 20 minutes away. How many people have we lost already? How many people will we lose? The ambulance didn't save my husband's life. A hospital did. If we had been home in Long Beach, this would have been a different story. My husband has no residual damage, nor has his quality of life been affected. Shouldn't we all have a chance at this golden hour? Long Beach must have a hospital.
Thank you, Ms. Solomon. Thank you, Mr. Volpe. At this time, I'd like to call up our clergy, Reverend Fuller. Rabbi Herman and Sister Diane Morgan, would you please come up?
Good afternoon. My name is Reverend Fuller. I'm locally here for more than 40 years. And for the most part, today, we're 2,000 years later when a prominent individual said that he that is whole need not a physician, but he that is sick. October 15, 2012, I left for work early morning, and 5 minutes away on Lido Boulevard, I passed out behind the wheel. Not knowing and incoherent to what was going on, I woke up in Long Beach Hospital, who had stabilized me under the conditions of a heart attack. And at that afternoon, about 2:30, I was prepared and taken to St. Francis Hospital, diagnosed as to what may be the probability of something neural or something physical, and 2 days later received an ICD in my chest, which is a backup for if that happens again. On the weekend, I came home on that Sunday, and that Monday afternoon, all of us here in Long Beach knew what happened. The waters came, and all of us was inundated and flooded out. It was the most heart-wrenching time of my life because I didn't know what was going to be and when it was going to be. But because Long Beach Hospital was there that morning of October 15th, it was there to stabilize me and then prepare to move me on to St. Francis. Although the political ramifications around Long Beach Hospital is still no different now than before, it is adamant that we must continue to forge this fight to get what we need when we need it. In the audience is a sister, a child, an adult, lifelong friend of mine, Kathy Williams, who had her daughter sustain a massive heart attack here months ago in our apartment. It was the local facilities that came, although she was deceased before she had left and got to South Nassau. What do we do if the opportunity was given for time and opportunity given to get her to Long Beach Hospital and stabilize her, which was the possibility as I was, and then to move on? What we must do, we must fervently fight for what we need. And we need a hospital now.
I'm Sister Diane Morgan, and I work at St. Ignatius Martyr Church here in Long Beach. And I believe that all of our faith traditions, whatever faith we profess, speaks of care of neighbor and awareness of those in our communities who are in need. On behalf of Monsignor Donald Beckman, who's the pastor at St. Ignatius, and Father Anthony, one of the priests who is in residence and served as a chaplain at Long Beach Medical Center, and priests before him who have served there. Every one of us speaks to the needs of this community, from the younger to the older. It's been said very eloquently today, but each one of us says what you know in your hearts. Long Beach needs a hospital. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Bennett Herman, Rabbi Emeritus at Temple Emmanuel for the past 20 years, and many, many visits to the Long Beach Hospital. You know, I'm really totally amazed that we need this song. Can you read this sign? What does it say?
Long Beach must have a hospital.
I'm really, again, totally amazed why our people have made this such a bureaucratic decision and a political decision. Now, I want to say about something that is very close to our respective faiths, whether it be Judaism, Christianity, whether we invoke Yahweh or Elohim or Jesus or any other God in your respective tradition. Not something about it's called in Hebrew or Yiddish, Rachmanut, pity, mercy. Have mercy on the people, and not only the children, but the adults and the seniors and everywhere. I don't understand. So what we're going to do now is have another guest speaker not on the list. We're going to rise now and invoke our Lord to maybe help these people melt their hearts and have mercy on our community. Please rise. A moment of silent prayer, asking the Lord to reach the hearts that have become hardened to the calls of our community. A moment of silent prayer. Be well, take good care, and we will have, not maybe, we will have a hospital.
Any good teacher knows people can't sit for more than 40 minutes. We're going to have a 2-minute interlude of when the Saints go marching in. Hit it. And we'll conclude the program right after this interlude.
Don't leave, don't leave, don't leave, not yet. Don't leave. Don't leave, not yet. Okay. I didn't know until 1 minute.
There's no panic. Everybody's going to leave, so we're grateful you stayed. This time we have a few representatives from the business community. Joe Snow and Mr. Mark Tannenbaum, would you please come up?
Hi everybody, Mark Tannenbaum, Executive Vice President of the Long Beach Chamber. We have been an establishment in this community since 1929. We are very lucky in this community. We have a great police department. We have a great fire department. We have the best lifeguards in the country. They just won the national title for the second year in a row, so that tells us things. But these first responders have to have tools to be successful. And if they don't have a hospital, we're not giving them the tools. That means our governments are not working with us to get them the tools. Our federal and state legislators have to work with our city council to get our hospital back. My biggest fear this last summer, our business were coming back great. They're on the mark to be very, very successful again. But God forbid there was a drowning related to something that couldn't be taken care of because we didn't have a hospital, would frighten our tourists from coming here. We must have a hospital, and our elected officials must work with our city government and all our organizations to get that hospital back immediately. Thank you.
On behalf of the real estate community in this town, I want to make a strong statement today about value and about home values and what's important to home values. It's not just the people that sell it in this community, it's the people who buy in this community. And they're out there and they're buying, but they're not buying that we are still vulnerable to flood. They're not buying that we don't have a hospital. And who knows it better than the real estate ambassadors who opened the door to many buyers in this community? Just recently, we lost a handful of buyers because we don't have a hospital. And the reality has hit us more than once in the face in the last couple of weeks. We need a hospital. Not that we should keep preaching that we need to build more condos and more rentals. Rentals and condos have people in it, and they get sick, and they need hospitals too. So I don't need to look out across Reynolds Channel and see 155 rental units, because those 155 rental units don't matter to me unless we have a hospital. So thank you very much to this pioneer right here, and Phyllis Labuddy, who are real heroes in our city, and the many people from the council, to Assemblyman Wiesenberg, to everybody up there who's trying to help us. Governor Cuomo, here's my message. Open our hospital.
Okay, our final speaker. Before concluding remarks, I ask Debbie Bernardino Arden to please come up. Debbie? Looks like she's afraid to leave a little infant with her husband.
My new grandson, who's sitting with my son-in-law, is even dressed in red. My beautiful daughter, Deborah.
So I'm here as a citizen, but also as an educator. But I'm going to speak on behalf of my father, Gil Bernardino, in Circo de la Hispanidad, because he was unable to be here. I'm going to speak first in Spanish. I'm going to read his statement in Spanish, and then if I'm allocated a quick minute, I did time myself, I'll read it then in English. Buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Débora Bernardino Arden y estoy representando a mi padre Gil Bernardino, que por razones de un compromiso anterior no pudo estar aquí. Les saluda a todos y les agradece su presencia. Primero, gracias al comité organizador Beach Today por su gran dedicación para que se haga justicia en nuestra comunidad. Circo de la Hispanidad y la comunidad hispana de la ciudad de Long Beach, que representa más del 20% de la población, tenemos un compromiso serio y proactivo para que el hospital de Long Beach perdido tenga que reemplazarse, no en Oceanside, sino en nuestra ciudad de Long Beach. Las consecuencias de no tener nuestro hospital en Long Beach son muy graves, con la posibilidad real de pérdidas de vidas que puede ser cualquiera de nosotros, uno de nuestros hijos, familiares o vecinos. Las ambulancias no vuelan. ¿Qué pasa cuando el puente esté levantado y la ambulancia con un enfermo grave se dirige al hospital de Oceanside? Además de la posibilidad de pérdida de vidas, la pérdida de nuestro hospital tendrá consecuencias, como tiene ahora, negativas para la economía de nuestra ciudad al perder el empleo cientos de personas de nuestra comunidad, nuestros vecinos. Por esas razones y muchas otras pedimos que los cientos de millones de FEMA sean solo y exclusivamente para construir un hospital en Long Beach. Pedimos a nuestros representantes políticos a todos los niveles que su compromiso para que se construya un hospital en Long Beach sea serio, proactivo y sean los primeros, no los segundos, en la lucha por este objetivo. Este es un momento de trascendencia histórica que afectará a todos nuestros descendientes. Lucharemos sin descanso. Gracias por su atención, Gil Bernardino. Now I'll read it in English. The statement in English. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. My name is Deborah Bernardino Arden, and I'm representing my father, Gil Bernardino, because he couldn't be here today. Welcome, everyone, and thanks for your presence. First, thank you to Beach Today for organizing this rally and for your great dedication to bring justice to our community. Circo de la Hispanidad and the Hispanic community of Long Beach, that represents more than 20% of the population, have a serious and proactive commitment so that the hospital that we lost is replaced here in the city of Long Beach. The consequences of not having a hospital in Long Beach are very, very serious, with the possibility of real loss of lives. It could be any one of us, our children, family members, neighbors. Ambulances, as you know, do not fly. What happens when the bridge is up and the ambulance has someone in critical condition needing emergency surgery? In addition to the loss of lives, the loss of our hospital has negative consequences on the economy of our city. We have lost hundreds of jobs for people in this community who are our neighbors. For these reasons and many others, we ask that the hundreds of millions of FEMA dollars that were approved are to be used exclusively to construct and open a hospital in Long Beach. We ask our elected officials at all levels that the commitment to construct a hospital be proactive, serious, and that they're the first to fight for this objective here in Long Beach. This is a moment of history that will affect all of our lives and the lives of our descendants. We will continue to fight until the ribbon cutting of our new hospital is announced. Thank you for your attention. Gil Bernard. And Rebecca, oh, okay. She also wants to say something as a child who hasn't been represented. Say your name first.
My name is Rebecca. I have asthma. We want a hospital in our house.
Thank you, Debbie. We're about ready to wrap it up. Before we do, I just want Mrs. Bernardino to speak, and we also have Max that's going to close with God Bless America. So please just hold on another minute. Mrs. Bernardino?
Teach your children well, hmm?
Yes, Papa.
So let's sum it up. According to the well-documented Berger report, this barrier island must have a hospital, right? Right. Our city lost our hospital, our community asset, to Hurricane Sandy, right? 3 months after Sandy, we were promised millions of FEMA dollars to restore or rebuild our community asset, a hospital. So far, millions of state and FEMA dollars have already been spent, so where's the hospital? Now FEMA has awarded millions of dollars more to be given to South Nassau, the new owners of that asset. But it is unclear what South Nassau intends to do with that money. So we ask, can and will South Nassau use it to expand its own facility in Oceanside and then just give us, well, whatever, here in Long Beach? Is this really the original intent of FEMA? Why does South Nassau want to commission a study of the regional needs of the South Shore communities, including the Barrier Island? Will it be to justify not building a hospital here? Oh, I don't think so. Forget it. We already know what their report cannot do. It cannot trump the Berger report because our geography has not changed. We're still a barrier island, and we must have what? If South Nassau cannot manage to open a hospital here, no hard feelings, return the money and just move on. The state will, we believe, have the responsibility to find a hospital that can get the job done. It is only fair. The state has been a big part of our problem. It is now time for them to be part of the solution. Thank you. Wait, I'm not done. We may not be a PAC or a well-financed lobby group, but together we are strong and we vote. Remember that on Tuesday, November 4th, is Election Day. How lucky we are to have the freedoms we enjoy. Let's not take them for granted. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here.
Max, may I call you up? Max Tunney. Let's give it up for Max. Come on. You'll notice the speaker's got about 2 minutes. Some went over. God only got 15 seconds from Rabbi Herman. So we're all going to join in this God Bless America. So please stand and let's hear it.
God bless America, and that I love, stand beside her and guide her through the land of the light from above, from the mountains through the prairies. Like it flow, God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home.
Thank you, Max. I also want to take an opportunity to thank Beach to Bay, all the speakers, Frank McQuaid, this group, and thank you, the community, for coming out. Many have asked for signs. I'd ask you to please come up to the table right here. Any questions, please come up with your lawn signs up here. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Thank Dr. Ryan and right.